Hey guys, JustKesey here, and I just want to share something with you that's been on my mind for the past 5 to 10 minutes. I've been talking with myself. Everything that you want to achieve, every goal that you make, it all starts with you. No one else. You can't blame anyone else for anything that you are lacking, for what you ever may slacking in. You can only blame yourself. And it actually took me a while to realize that. Because going through life, I would say, oh, well, this person didn't do this and this person didn't do that. But as I tend to mature and actually start to actually think about circumstances and things that I've done, I can only blame myself. Regardless of what your situation may be right now, regardless of what your current situation may be, whether it's good or bad, you put yourself in that situation. Now, you can get out of it. You can easily get out of it. But where does it start? Yes, it starts with you. But I'm going to tell you something greater. It starts in the mind. It starts in the realm of the mind. The mind is connected. Oh, if you knew how powerful the mind is. Have you ever recognized the fact that the mind is the only non-physical thing attached to your body? There's nothing physical about it at all. Now, the brain, in some kind of way, in which I can't really go into detail about, but the brain, in some kind of way, is attached to the mind, which the brain is physical. But if you were to cut someone's brain open, you couldn't tell what they were thinking. You can't tell who they like and who they hate. You can't tell what they favor. You can't. The mind is just there's so much things I can say about the mind, but let's just get back to the topic at hand. Excuse me. Like I stated earlier, regardless of what situation you may be in, it starts with you. Now, there are various roads that we can all take. Okay? And these are the experiences. This is why we are on this planet. This is why we are on planet Earth. To gain experiences. That is the definition of life. I don't care what other people may say about life. Life is about gaining experiences because that is the only thing you do in life. You go down various roads based off the choices that you made. The roads that you have taken that led you to wherever, those were your choices. Now, based off what I was saying on the last video about follow your passion, I think my last video was titled "Why I Became a YouTube Commentator," and it was based off following my passion. I went down a lot of roads that I should not have went down, but I am glad that I went down them because those were my experiences. I needed those experiences. Hopefully, someone can come to me, want to have a conversation with me, and I can say, "Hey, I went down that road. I can share my experience with you." I'd rather say that than say, "Well, it doesn't sound right, so I don't think you should do it." No. If that's the case, I would say, hey, go down it. See what happens. Regardless of what may happen, regardless, even if you're on the right road, there are going to be objects to block you. That's life. Even when you find that right road from all of the wrong roads, when you get on the right road, there are still going to be objectives. It is just not going to be a straight path. It is not going to happen. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you accept the objects to be non-objects. Let me explain. Sooner or later, you're going to get into a point in your mind where objects being placed in front of you are not going to be a bad thing. You're going to think, okay, this happened, so what am I going to do about it? Rather than, man, this thing stopped me and man, and crying and shit. You're not going to get anywhere with that. All of that complaining helps nothing. Okay, so it may be good to vent sometimes. Sometimes it's good to talk to someone to get things off of your chest. But if you're just going to complain because an object was placed on a path, you came across a speed bump and you bumped a little bit and you're in your own rocky road right now, then if you're going to sit back and complain about it, then why are you here? How far can you go without coming across shaky ground? It all starts in the mind. If you're on a good road, then kudos to you. I want to be where you are. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to be where you are. If you're on the right road, you done went down all these experiences and you done found the right road, then I would say I applaud you. I look up to you. Okay, that's the person who I want to be friends with. Even in the Bible, Jesus was in a crowd of people, and someone came into the crowd where Jesus was in the center, and they said, "Your mother and your brother is looking for you." And Jesus said, "The only people who are my mother and my brothers are the people who follow me." In which that's pretty much deeper. I'm not telling you to follow anyone. I'm telling you to do your own thing. Because even the Bible tells you that, to just be yourself, live your life. But you can't cry every time something happens. Eventually, you're going to come to a point in your mind where you're going to be like, okay, this happened. How am I going to get over it? What are you going to do? Fight or run? Let me tell you something. If you run from it, it's just going to come up again. So when the object is placed in front of you, it's best to gain the experience to overcome it, just in case it happens again. That's pretty much the best advice that I can give. It all starts in the mind. And like I stated earlier, if we were just to sit back and talk about the mind, it could be like 10 people in a circle. That conversation would last for hours. It may take days to finish that conversation because there are so many things about the mind. Psychology is a powerful subject. And anyone who's taken psychology, or anyone who's taking a logic class, or anyone who studies philosophy can agree with that. They could possibly tell you the same thing I'm telling you, if not more. In which I would advise to sit down and listen to these people. I love to listen to people. In which sometimes it is good to just shut up and let people talk, but I'll save that for another video. But regardless of what situation you may be in, you can get out of it. I read it was one of those pictures, I can't think of the term for it, that has messages on them. And one of them said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And that's just pretty much just coming from a psychological standpoint. I thought it was pretty interesting. I never heard it put that way before. But it was right. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So if you think that you can become the top whatever, if you think that you can become the greatest whatever, you can. But if you have a lack of doubt in your mind, not a lack of doubt. If you have any doubt in your mind, say, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, it seems so hard. Then guess what? You're not going to be able to do it. You're not. Because you put those limitations on yourself. Someone can lead you to the water, but you have to drink it. Someone can lead you to the door, but you have to walk through it alone. Someone can bring you to the table, but you have to eat the meatloaf. You have to eat the meatloaf. Okay, I just got a little carried away there. I don't know where that came from. But just to end this off, don't put limits on yourself. Because you're only hurting yourself. Objects are going to happen. They're going to be placed on the path. And to be quite honest, you may come across more objects when you're on the right path. It just seems to happen that way. It's weird, but that's my experience. When I decided what I wanted to do, when I decided I wanted to get into commentaries, so many objects were in front of me where I was just like, wow, And there are sometimes you're going to get angry. Even Jesus got angry. Have you ever heard of the story of the money changers when they were in a temple and they were gambling, and Jesus got so mad that he went and he started flipping over tables. It's sometimes it's okay to get angry, but learn to snap out of it. Sometimes it's good to release that a little bit. Sometimes it's good to just sigh. Learn to breathe. There is science in breath, in which that's a really good book to read. Science of Breath. I can't think of the guy. I think he's from Asia or something like that. But you can go on Amazon.com. There's a book called Science of Breath. It's really interesting. But it starts with you. It starts in the mind. Don't put limitations on yourself. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And love yourself enough to know that you have the power within you to accomplish any damn thing, regardless. But the mind is so powerful that it can work against you. That's the balance. That's the balance in the universe. That's part of yin and yang. Work with yourself. Follow your passion. Love yourself enough to make the effort into following your passion. I was a person who tended to put limits on myself before. And let me tell you, it is not the conclusion of it is not pretty. It's actually pretty dark. It really is. Like one day I will make a video, make a commentary rather, explaining the roads that I went down because I don't mind talking about it. And it's a very dark road. But those dark roads led me to the light. It led me to who I am. And it led me to where I am now. And like I say, I'm not this very big YouTuber, but I love doing this. I love gaming, and on the side, I love philosophy. I love psychology. I love the Bible. I love the Kabbalah. I love to talk about these things. I love to talk about spirituality. Even when I'm around people who know more than me, I just stop and I just listen, just to see what they have to say. But I'm getting into something else. I'm totally getting into something else. I'm just going to end it with that. Don't put limitations on yourself. Believe in yourself. It all starts with you. You have to walk through the door. And just the next time you're starting to feel down about something, when you start to feel down, acknowledge that you're feeling down and also acknowledge that you can pick yourself back up. It all starts with you. This is Just Kesey. Hit the like if you like it. If you haven't, subscribe. And until the next time, next time. Bye bye.